Welcome back to New Man, New Woman, New Week. I'm Ben Newman, and I am fired up to be with you today to actually revisit 3 principles of team that I believe will make the difference for you with your teams that you're a part of, whether it's an athletic team or whether it's a team you're a part of in business. And the reason why I know these principles will be impactful for business or sports is because we've seen it play out in both. In fact, this year I had the opportunity to do regional conferences for a business law conference. And when they found out some of the topics we spoke on, they said, you have got to deliver these 3 principles of team. And these 3 principles of team were the difference for that conference. The feedback they received is that these principles will make a difference in business development with the firms, as well as driving relationships within the firm. And these 3 principles, whether it's sports or business, we've seen it drive growth, communication, and resiliency in teams. And I've talked about them before. The first one is passion for the process. So as I go through these 3 principles of team, think about your commitment to your teams. Passion for the process. It's about you identifying your ideal state when you have been totally committed to the process that it takes to drive success for the teams that you're a part of. Our naturalness is to hold on way too tightly to results that we cannot control, rather than pulling down our vision, putting it right in front of our face, and identifying the process that it takes to drive success. Think about the last time you felt great. We're talking business. You felt great about your work, or we're talking sports. You felt great about your commitment athletically. Think about that ideal state when you were locked in, you were focused, you were in the zone, nobody could shake you. Were you focused on results you couldn't control, or the process? What did that process look like? And if you repeated that process over and over and over and over again, what would that mean to the team? Identify your passion for the process and empower and inspire the individuals on your team to identify and focus on their piece of the process. You don't have to do other people's work on great teams. Focus on you owning your piece of the process, focus on empowering and inspiring them to own theirs, and the team will perform. The second common factor, the common principle of team, is trust. It all comes down to communication, trusting in each other. How much do you trust your teams that you're a part of? Think of our Navy SEALs. Our Navy SEALs who oftentimes they enter in Iraq or Afghanistan on dangerous missions, lined up in a train, entering a building that's laden with IEDs. If you hit one side of the wall or another side of the wall, the building blows. Yet these individuals line up, they're committed. First individual through the door may see the enemy out of the corner in their eye, but they know their commitment to the team is to take out the first wall to their left. The second individual through the door may see the same enemy with a gun pointed at them, wanting to take them out. Their commitment is to this wall. It's the third person through the door who sees that individual who takes out the enemy. Can you imagine that level of trust and commitment that it takes to trust in your partner, to trust in your teammate when your life is on the line? Now, I share that example because it's the best example I can give of trust. Those faces of freedom that put themselves in harm's way. If they can do that on the battlefield, can you do that on a court? Can you do that on a field when communicating? Pass the ball, call out a screen, to communicate with your teams if something needs to be done or maybe something wasn't done right the first time so that you can learn and grow together. Trust more in your teams and the teams will excel. The third principle of team is legacy. So we have passion for the process, trust, and legacy. Legacy is all about connecting to the individuals that were on the team before you. The individuals who came before you, who helped write the story, that have passed that proverbial ball, that proverbial pen onto you to continue to write the story of the legacy of the organization or the team that you're a part of. Get connected to that purpose that's bigger than you. What does that purpose look like? Are you committed to continuing to write the story of the legacy of your organization or your team? Not for anything that it does for you, but because of what it does for others. Continue to write that story as one day you will pass that proverbial ball, that proverbial pen onto the next generation. If you want to drive growth, communication, and resiliency in your teams, passion for the process, trust, and legacy. Own it, get fired up about it, share your conviction for it, your passion, your fire, your energy, and go get after it. Enjoy your teams. Love your relationships. Until next week, for New Man, New Woman, New Week, go do great things.